call this meeting of the Village of Villa Park Board to order. Today's February 12th at 7 p.m. Clerk Kornecki, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Trustee Aiello. Trustee Kazone.
Here.
Trustee Case.
Here.
Trustee Tucker.
Here.
Trustee Wagner.
Here.
Trustee Silella.
Here.
President Bolthus.
Here. Please stand for the pledge, and after that, please remain standing for a short prayer. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Wagner would lead us in a prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the Village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, public comments on agenda items. Clerk Kornecki, has anyone signed up for
Yes.
comments?
Yes. Jen Burns wants to speak on item number 7.
Okay.
Hello.
Right.
I noticed that the, for item 7, is just some of the other various projects, and it says the Jackson Pond Improvement Project. So I'm not sure if there's any photos or schematics of what exactly that might look like available online. Or if you guys, I know it's just about the bonds and things like that, but I'm not sure if everyone's really familiar with that. And I know that at some point, the sled hill over at Jackson was possibly going to be taken down. And again, I just want to kind of, if the various projects or things are going to go along with that, maybe we can just be informed. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't think there's any real plans on the pond yet, is there?
There's there's some site plans, yes, Your Honor.
Rough?
Yeah, but all that comes back to the board for approval
Yeah,
for
so
bids, things of that nature.
there's nothing formalized yet, but
Okay, thank you.
they're rough plans. Okay, anyone else? Clerk?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Anyone else with any questions on, comments on the agenda items? Seeing none. We'll move on down to the amendments to the agenda. I would like to entertain a motion to remove the Community Pride Commission's Christmas Decoration Award. The things weren't able to come together on that, so have that motion. Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make a motion to remove item 5 from the agenda.
Okay. Do I have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that second.
Okay. Any comments? Roll call.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Aiello. Excuse me, it's not here. Trustee Kazone.
Yes.
Trustee Tucker.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Silella.
Yes.
President Bolthus.
Okay. Any other amendments? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 6, consent agenda. Minutes from the public hearing on January 22nd, 2018. Minutes from the board meeting on January 22nd, 2018. Bill listing for the week of January 22nd, January 29th, 2018, for a total amount of $1,006,368.93. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Mr. President,
Trustee Stone?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Ciela? Second? Ciela. Any questions? Comments? No, roll call, please.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Tucker.
Yes.
Trustee Kazone.
Yes.
Trustee Silella.
Yes.
President Bolthus.
Yes. Item 7, ordinance authorizing and providing for the issuance of, do we have a dollar amount here?
Yes, Your Honor.
$2,645,000 general obligation alternative revenue bonds, sales tax alternative revenue source, Series 2018A of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, for the purpose of financing certain village-wide stormwater public infrastructure projects, including but not limited to stormwater drainage improvements in connection with the Jackson Pond Improvement Project. the Astor Court Myrtle Avenue Improvement Project, and a portion of the Michigan Avenue Improvement Project from Madison Street to Jackson Street within the village, prescribing the details of said bonds, providing for the imposition of taxes sufficient to pay the same, and for collection, segregation, and application of certain village revenues to pay said bonds. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Mayor. This matter has been discussed on a number of previous occasions. This ordinance will be the final required board action on the second tranche of stormwater alternate revenue bonds to be used for the Jackson Pond and related projects. Pricing for the bonds did occur today, Monday, February 12th, based on market conditions. The market conditions were favorable and rates as expected. We will ask the village board to approve a version of the attached ordinance that has been populated with priced bond information. Spear Financial, our financial advisor, will be able to advise if the rates and structure are in the village's best interest, and they have, Your Honor and Board. The bonds are expected to close in late February. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Do I have a motion? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second? Trustee Cates?
I'll second.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Okay, Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Silella,
Yes.
Trustee Case,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
President Volpus.
Yes. Item 8. Do you have any dollar amount on that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Ordinance providing for the issuance of $5,600,000 general obligation library bonds, Series 2018B of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, the proceeds of which will be used for remodeling, improving and building an addition to the existing Villa Park Library building, furnishing equipment and library materials and storage facilities therefore, and paying expenses incidental thereto, and providing for the levy and collection of a direct annual tax for the payment of the principal and interest on said bonds. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, this matter has been discussed on a number of previous occasions. This ordinance will be the final required board action on the second tranche of the library general obligation bonds to be used for the referendum-approved library addition and improvement project. Pricing for the bonds did occur today, Monday, February 12th. The market was fair and favorable rates as expected. Tonight, we'll ask the village board to approve a version of the attached ordinance will be populated with the priced bond information. Spear Financial, our financial advisor, is here this evening to advise about the rates and structures which are in the village's best interest. The bonds are expected to close in late February. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Kazone.
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Case.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Trustee Tucker.
I have a question. On the two different bond sections, were they rated the same way, or were they divided differently?
Manager Keener.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, both ratings were a AA stable by S&P, if that's what you're referring to, Trustee Tucker. And we do have our financial advisor in the audience. And, Your Honor, if you'd like to have Director Wachtel come and maybe discuss a little bit about both bonds issuance and the interest rates and things of that nature.
Sure. If Kevin would do that. And I understand, I think our rating has improved a little bit. We went from a AA minus to a AA. I got that right?
Thank you.
Did we get, let me ask you a question too. Did we get a favorable interest rate now? Did the bond market go down at the same with the stock market?
There was some, with the volatile stock market over the past week and what has happened throughout this first part of this year, it was kind of tenuous as to whether or not we'd have some good rates. We worked with the bond team earlier today and throughout last week to monitor the market very closely, looking even down to 1/100th of a percent point, a portion of a percentage point, to monitor that, make sure that we are getting the best rates that were available to us when we went out to market. The bond team, they went out to market today, looking at all of the factors that go into that when the bond people do their calculations. We believe that we did receive very good rates today, considering the market. With the volatile stock market, we did have, there's a little bit different rate between the two bonds. One is longer. The stormwater bonds are for 14 years. The library bonds go out about 20 years, so they're longer, so there's higher interest rate at the longer term that you borrow money. We do believe that we got good rates. Mark Geratina from Spear Financial, they are our financial advisors that the village hires in order to advise us on whether or not it's a good bond deal, a good bond structure. They've been with us every step of the way, and they have recommended that we accept the bid on these bonds, which is the ordinance that is before you tonight.
Any other questions? Trustee Kazal?
Quickly, these bonds, are they similar to the ones that we've refinanced over the years, like in 5 years or 3 years if the market is better? Can we refinance them?
There is a call date. I believe it's out 8 years from now that we would be able to call those bonds and refinance those bonds at that point in time.
Anyone else? Trustee Tucker?
Because one's 14 and one's 20 years, if I'm correct, they were negotiated differently, like they weren't negotiated as a package. Each bond was negotiated differently.
How it typically works and how it works today, when we sold the bond, or when we priced the bonds, I should say, every year is a maturity. So every year is individually sold. So all of the bonds that will mature in 2022 are sold as one bond, or in increments of 5,000. So you could buy and sell portions of that. So for the stormwater bonds, there were 14 different maturities or lengths of investments that the buyers could buy, and so that was done hand in hand with the library bonds. It was all packaged together. So there were some buyers that bought some of the library bonds and some of the stormwater bonds. It was all marketed at one point, talking to the same buyers that they would buy whichever one they wanted or whatever fit with the bonds that were still available to be sold at that particular maturity was going to meet their investment objectives and the best possible price for us.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes?
Trustee Silella,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
Trustee Case,
Yes.
President Boltus.
Yes. Item number 9, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the purchase of a 2018 John Deere 410L backhoe loader through the National Joint Powers Alliance Joint Purchasing Program in the amount of $145,262.93. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Utility Division of the Public Works Department has identified a 25-year-old John Deere model 410D backhoe for replacement. Village staff requests authorization to purchase one 2018 John Deere 410L backhoe through the National Joint Powers Alliance, NJPA, with contract number 032515-JDC from West Side Tractor Sales Company of Wakanda, Illinois, in the amount of $145,262.93. This budgeted expense will be split between the Water Fund account number 82-502-02401 and the Equipment Fund account number 65-502-02401. Delivery would be expected by April 30th, 2018. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that second.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
The question.
Trustee Wagner.
In the memo from staff, it mentions that the old backhoe will be repurposed. Does that mean it's not going to be used as a backhoe anymore? Or is it?
I think the memo said it was going to be traded in, didn't it?
Mine says it will be
Oh,
repurposed.
Trustee Wagner. Okay, Trustee, you're not. Manager Keener. Oh, here we have Salerno is going to clear it all up.
Yes, good evening. The village owns currently 2 backhoes. The older one that was mentioned here, the 1993, which is currently used by the Streets and Forestry Division, that's the unit that's going to be actually traded in for the $10,000.
Okay.
The one that's used by the Utility Division, the 2001, will be repurposed to the Streets and Forestry Division.
Okay.
So the new backhoe primarily will be used by the Utility Division, which is the water and wastewater, primary for main breaks and sewer installations and repairs.
How do you, if I could ask another question, how do you measure the usage? Is it based upon hours of time and service? Is that how you?
There's hours as well as age for the usage.
Okay. All right, that's all I had. Thank you.
There is an hour meter on those
Correct.
pieces of equipment, so. All right, that's it?
That's it.
Anyone else? Roll call, oh, wait a minute,
I have
trustee
a question
Tucker.
for you. My understanding is the one we're trading in, we are doing it because of the age of it and the fact that it is having electrical problems? Is that what my understanding is?
Those are just a couple of the items for the purpose of trading it in. Obviously, age being 25 years old, some electrical problems currently. The hydraulics obviously aren't as tight as what you would expect after 25 years of use. So we've definitely gotten our use out of it.
And you compared, that one's a two-wheel, and you're going four now, if I'm understanding?
That is correct. The 2001 model that we currently have is also a four-wheel drive. So we're very familiar with that model.
And you're getting rid of the two-wheel drive one, correct? That's what you're trading in?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. I'd also like to thank you for putting the warranty part in our packet this time. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item 10, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Villa Park and the County of DuPage for an implementation of a national pollutant discharge elimination system program in the Salt Creek watershed. Manager.
Thank you, Your Honor. In order to combine efforts and share services where possible, stormwater management staff of DuPage County has established a qualifying local program. The qualifying local program combines the efforts of the county and participating municipalities in a watershed area to provide the water quality measures required by the IEPA. This allows program participants to meet the NPDES requirements under one streamlined and more efficient program. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner,
I'd like to make that motion.
do I have a second?
I'll second
Trustee Sedella? Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker?
Yes. Is there a set fee for to do this? I didn't notice there was a set fee over there. I noticed the length of the time, but is there a set type of fee, or is it go in increments on what's going to be occurring?
Our Director Giskelis is coming up here to answer it.
The majority of the services in the intergovernmental agreement are at no cost to the village. They also included some optional services that we could either take or not take, and for those they provided hourly rates. But at this point, we do not anticipate using any of the optional services unless the situation changes that we need to.
Okay.
So at this point, no, there would be no cost to the village.
Anything else, trustee?
No.
Okay. Anyone else? Roll call vote.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item 11, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the submittal of an application for IEPA loan funding for water system improvements to be completed as part of the College Street Improvement Project, and authorizing the village manager to sign loan application forms and supporting documents. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village's water master plan recommends the replacement of the existing water mains on North Iowa Avenue from Stone Road to Vermont Street, on North Michigan Avenue from Stone Road to Vermont Street, and on West Vermont Street from Wisconsin Avenue to Harvard Avenue. Staff wishes to pursue low-interest Illinois Environmental Protection Agency loan funding for the construction of these water systems improvements through the IEPA's Public Water Supply Loan Program. Staff recommends approving a resolution authorizing the submittal of an application for loan funding and authorizing the village manager to sign the loan application forms and supporting documents. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kazone,
No.
second?
I'll make
Case?
the motion.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none. This is just the application for a loan. This doesn't mean we're going to get the loan, so. Okay. Roll call vote.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Salella,
Yes.
trustee Tucker,
Yes.
trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
President Bolfus.
Yes. Item 12, appointment to the Parks and Recreation Commission of Rachel Pasola. Do I have a motion for the appointment? Trustee Sela.
Motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee Case. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Okay, trustee Kazone,
Yes.
trustee Tucker,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Case,
Yes.
trustee Salella.
Yes.
President Bolfus.
Yes. Okay, item 13, public comments on non-agenda items. So Clerk Kornecki, do you have anybody
Yes.
signed up?
Yes, we have several people. The first person I have on here is Tom King.
Hello, my name is Tom King, and I'm a member of the Save Lufkin Group. At the last board meeting, the Save Lufkin Group presented its plan on the importance of the Lufkin Pool, a solution to fund the needed repairs, and a path to make the pool more financially sustainable. We have taken this presentation, coupled with the research, data, and analysis that our group has done, and compiled it into a written plan and submitted it to the board today, and it is available on our new website at savelufkinpool.org. To reiterate, our recommendations are the following. Vote no on demolishing Lufkin Pool. Number 2, use $450,000 from the general corporate fund surplus on Lufkin repairs. This would reduce the surplus to $1.1 million or 139 days cash on hand, which is above the goal of 120 days. Number 3, increase pass, admission, and rental rates to yield an additional $12,000 to $27,000 in revenue. Number 4, work with the Save Lufkin Group on soliciting grant funding and corporate sponsorship. Additionally, our group toured Lufkin Pool last week and were shown the mechanical areas of the pool. We would like to thank the village and the Parks and Recreation Department for this experience. Our main takeaways were, number 1, the pool shell or main concrete structure shows no major deterioration or sinking. It is level, appears viable, and could sustain operation for a significant number of additional years. The Williams Architect evaluation done in 2013 did not include visual inspection of the shell, since the liner was not removed at that time. Number 2, the repairs needed to keep Lufkin open are mainly mechanical and ancillary. For example, filtration system, acid storage, backwash tank, piping, pool liner, and dive stand. Number 3, the largest expense, a new filtration system, would not be a permanent concrete structure like it is now. It would be stainless steel and could potentially be repurposed at a new facility. In essence, Lufkin's main foundational structure is okay, and the proposed ancillary and mechanical repairs can sustain its operation for a significant number of years. The Save Lufkin Group of Villa Park respectfully petitions the Village of Villa Park Board to sanction the necessary repairs to Lufkin Pool in order to sustain the pool's operation until such time when a future similar facility is constructed. We believe our plan will provide both a community and generational bridge for Villa Park, and we look forward to working with you to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Nice to meet you.
Amy Jenkins.
Hi, I'm Amy Jenkins, and I'm also a member of the Save Lufkin Group. At the last board meeting, the Save Lufkin Group proposed to fund the Lufkin repairs from the surplus that is accumulating in the general corporate fund. This surplus exists without a doubt because of the village's diligence in managing operating expenses in recent years. Since that presentation, our group has fielded questions and feedback surrounding concerns about dipping into the village's emergency funds. We would like to make sure it is clear that the Save Lufkin Group supports the village in maintaining its cash reserve goals. The money we propose to spend is from a balance that is in excess of the $7.5 million the village wants to maintain in its reserves. To ensure that our recommendation was in no way asking the village to be fiscally irresponsible, we took a look at several towns similar to Villa Park in size and structure to see what they maintain in their cash reserves. I've provided the board with the comparison chart that we put together. The majority of towns we looked at report their cash reserves as a percentage of annual operating expenses, while we talk about them in terms of days on hand. For comparison purposes, Villa Park's goal of 120 days cash on hand equates to 33% of annual operating expenses. Of the 8 towns we looked at, Villa Park is maintaining the second highest amount of cash reserves, currently budgeted to end fiscal year 18 at 40%. Reducing our cash reserves by the $450,000 to repair Lufkin would drop us to 38%, still second highest compared to other towns. The towns we looked at in DuPage County were Hinsdale, which has a parks department, not a park district. Their goal is 25% or 90 days cash on hand, and they ended fiscal year 17 at 25.3. Bensonville, also with a parks department, not a park district, had a goal of 25% and ended fiscal year 17 at 33%. Roselle has a goal of 35% and ended fiscal year 17 at 37.4%. Darien has a goal of 25% and ended fiscal year 17 at 25%. They specifically note in their financial reports that any surplus over 90 days is transferred to their capital projects fund. And Bloomingdale, who in their audited financial report states, and I quote, "The village does not maintain any rainy day or exigency funds as they are viewed as unnecessary or excessive accumulation of constituents' monies." Before anybody thinks Bloomingdale has gone rogue, it does go on to say that individual fund balances, do contain contingency money that can only be used within the scope of that fund. We also looked at a couple towns of similar size within Cook County. Brookfield has a goal of 25% and ended fiscal year 16 at 10.6%. Hanover Park, the only town with a reserve percentage higher than ours, has a goal of 25% and is budgeted to exceed that at fiscal year 18 at 58%. And Morton Grove simply sets a set dollar amount and budgeted at fiscal year 18 at $510,000. In summary of the towns that we looked at, the majority of towns set a goal for their cash reserves and they maintain the fund to meet their goal. We see no evidence of a trend to accumulate excess funds above and beyond where their goals are set. As a result, we stand by our proposal and feel that spending $450,000 on Lufkin is feasible and in no way jeopardizes our town's financial certainty should we experience a significant drop in revenue or should we incur an emergency. Thank you.
Okay, Katie Mueller.
Good evening. I'm Katie Miller, and I'm here to discuss the long-term goals of our group. The work performed by the Save Lufkin Pool Group has demonstrated a level of commitment that the residents in Villa Park are willing to make in order to save a much-loved amenity in our community. Our long-term goal is not to have Lufkin repaired and then disband, but rather become a Friends of the Park group. We value all amenities in Villa Park, including both pools, playgrounds, ball fields, and recreational programs. Our objective would be to continue to work with and support the board in helping to grow and improve our community, pools, parks, and recreational programs. We will be there alongside to help with becoming a 501c3 and assisting with fundraising and event planning, eliciting community support, grants, educating the public, assisting with focus groups, organizing volunteers, and participating in the Parks and Rec Commission. We are open to the idea of a recreational center within Villa Park. However, our immediate goal, as stated by one of our previous members, is to bridge the gap and repair Lufkin until the recreation center can become a reality. We have compiled a list of residents and their skills and qualifications who have expressed their desire to remain committed to this group. Additionally, we wanted to share with the board the number of residents that support our cause as evidenced by the individuals in attendance tonight wearing buttons, but also the numbers of supporters who have joined our Facebook page, and registered on our website. Currently, we have over 1,000 followers on Facebook, and we have passed out over 200 signs to residents who support our cause. Our group continues to garner and support feedback from the residents of Villa Park. For more information on this group, you can find information on our Facebook page or on our website at www.savelufkinpool.org. Thank you.
Okay, Amanda Murphy.
Hi, I'm Amanda Murphy, a member of Save Lufkin Pool Group. Tonight, you, the board, again have heard from our Save Lufkin Pool Group members our business plan, cash reserve comparisons to other villages, and our plan for a long-term commitment to the improvement of our pools and Parks and Recreation Department. Yes, this group did begin when we found out that the village board had voted to not support a new liner for Lufkin, as well as an engineering assessment, which resulted in a plan to close Lufkin Pool. So our goal at this time is to work with the village and the Parks and Rec Department to get approval to repair Lufkin so that it remains open during the gap of time until a new facility is completed. We need to bridge the gap until the plan is a reality. We believe that our actions thus far, from forming our group, to attending board meetings, to creating signage, to social media, to developing a website, to reviewing budgets, reports, and plans, to nominating a representative to participate in the Parks and Rec Commission, to touring the Lufkin facility, to informing residents of the facts, and much, much more. These actions stand as proof that we are committed to help out our village, the Parks and Rec Department, and our community for the long haul. But in order for us to continue in good faith, we need you, the board members, to bring forth and vote yes to a resolution to repair and improve Lufkin so that it is sustainable for the foreseeable future. If that occurs, we then need the support and commitment from the Parks and Recreation Department to continue to do their jobs with high standards. We need the village manager, staff, and board to support and commit to these high standards, providing the resources needed as we move forward together towards a long-term solution for a possible new pool and rec center for our community and for future amenities. We, together, all of us, need to rise to the challenge of bettering our community for the benefit of all of its residents. We, the members of the Save Lufkin Pool, we want this village to succeed. We as residents need this village to succeed. It will benefit us all in the long run. As citizens, we all have an obligation to become involved if we see something we think needs to change. For in the end, it is the citizen who ultimately facilitates change. There's an old Chinese proverb, tell me, I forget. Show me, I remember. Involve me, I understand. We, the Save Lufkin Group, have heard, we have seen, and now we are involved, so we understand. We are here with the support of many in our community to work and move forward with saving Lufkin Pool and improving our parks and recreation resources. We ask now that you make the same commitment to us. Bring forth and vote in favor of a resolution to repair and save Lufkin Pool. Vote no to demolishing Lufkin. Commit as a board and village staff to put our community's parks and recreation resources back on track through repair, improvement, proper ongoing maintenance, and development. And know that if you make this commitment, we will be there alongside you to help in this endeavor. Thank you.
Jen Burns, she wants to speak on Jefferson Pool.
Okay.
Hello. I am fully prepared that the Lufkin Pool will find their necessary resources and they will open. I'm fairly confident of that. But what I'm concerned about is that I have patiently waited So that way, the updates that need to happen at Jefferson Pool are finally done. And I have finally, prior to opening this year, this was going to be my chance. I was actually going to maybe get some bathroom stall doors, so that way women don't have to try to change in the locker rooms holding a shower curtain. If you're using two hands, you don't have any other hands to help you finish your, your private business. The roof that leaks over there, the gutters that are needed. We have 5 home swim meets, and we also usually will host some kind of conference meet. When Addison was having some issues with their facility, we brought people in. That means that 4 other neighboring towns, that is the gem that they see representing Villa Park. And it's not a good one. Toilets can't flush, water doesn't run, all these other things. And so last year was finally the epiphany, I guess, for maybe the board or for the recreation staff, or we finally were in some better financial standing to make sure that we could actually make these improvements and make these upgrades and finally give it a little bit of TLC. And I would like some assurance, because I have none yet, that those improvements are still going to be made prior to my swim season, so that way I can rest assured my athletes and my parents and the neighboring towns that come here that they will actually have a facility that will meet their needs. The attendance numbers for the swim meets are not included on here in these daily tallies. I'm hesitant to go back the 10 years that were being analyzed here. One of the years where we have this blip, that was when Lombard was closed, and so we had worked with Lombard Park District to offer a discounted rate, so we did see a nice surge. If you include the swim team attendance into these, Jefferson outpaces Lufkin, hands down. And the other thing too is, that's the pool that we have hundreds of people who don't currently live here coming to take a look at and experience. And I want to make sure that we can finally put our best foot forward. And so, we've already made the news for other things. I really want to make sure that that facility also gets its TLC that it needs. I'm glad that the Save Lufkin group is very well organized. I know they were trying to do this back in 2012. If I would have known that all these people would have come together to put this, to rise to this level, I would have advocated for us to actually state, yes, we are closing and not just in jeopardy of it. I'm very proud of all the work that they've done and the things they've put together. I would like to see that they can go ahead and form the 501c3. I'm currently doing that right now for our Villa Park Parents Organization. I would like to see that they're already applying for the grants on behalf of Villa Park or getting all that information together. So that way we already do have the funding. I know that was a goal of this group back in 2012, and it just kind of, I don't know if it's just because the facility opened or maybe it wasn't in as dire straits, but I really would like to see that let's go ahead and, that 501c3 takes a good 2 years to find out if you're actually approved or not. So the time to start working on that is now, not later. And if they're truly interested in helping all of our facilities in town, they don't need to wait. They can start now. And we can all rise up together and really make some great improvements for our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, I have, and also last one is Mike Burns.
Mike Burns?
Yes, Mike Burns.
Just briefly, my family moved here in 1978, West Jackson Street, so basically my backyard was Lufkin Pool. One of my first jobs ever was as a lifeguard at Lufkin Pool. I've worked at both pools over the years, both Jefferson and Lufkin. Lufkin always will hold a special place for me. I'm not convinced that the $450,000 is really all that's really gonna be needed. I've done maintenance at both pools over the years. Most recently, the last 5 years, I did maintenance at Lufkin Pool every morning throughout the swim season. So I just offer myself as a resource if any of you may have questions about some of the daily operations, things that I've seen behind the scenes at Lufkin Pool, in case you have any questions moving forward with the possible resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Did anyone else have anything they wanted to say about the pools?
Sorry, I got here too late.
That's okay, just state your name, please. Yeah, is there a sign-up sheet there?
No, there's not.
There is not,
Okay,
because
we'll
we got
get it.
confused with the others,
Sure.
but what is your name, if you could say clearly?
Kelly Lopez.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I am also here not for, I'm here about Jefferson. You know, I understand that people have a special place in their hearts for Lufkin, but we're a small village. We have 2 pools. That's kind of a luxury. I really I understand both sides of the issue. I am not in favor of taking money out of cash reserves. I agree with Mr. Burns. I don't think it's going to be $450,000. I think it's probably going to be a lot more. I would like to see us do something to Jefferson Pool to make it more. My daughter also happens to be on the swim team. Both my kids have used both pools throughout the years that we've lived here. I just feel that we need to maybe concentrate on one pool, and let's work on Jefferson in the meantime until we can get a resolution together to build another pool. I would really like to see that resolution, or that building a new pool, come forward very closely to within the next 5 years. You know, I'm hearing 10 years. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have all the facts, but I would like to see it done within the next 5 years. So in the meantime, let's make Jefferson a really nice, desirable pool, a place for families to go, and what can we do in the meantime to help make that a better place. So when we do have swim teams, it is kind of embarrassing as a parent when I'm volunteering to hear, you know, the shape of the pool is not the best sometimes, and it's kind of embarrassing. So I would also like to support working on Jefferson in the meantime. Thank you.
I'm Kelly Hightower, 27 East Jackson Villa Park, second oldest house in Villa Park, and my family's been there for 72 years. When I moved in the house, I was 4, and at that time, just between Ardmore and Cornell, there were 17 kids under the age of 17. We all took our swimming lessons there, and we all swam there every day. In the last year, we've had 4 new families move in that block from Ardmore to Cornell. 3 of them have multiple children under the age of 4. And me being the oldest member on the block, I welcome them all. Every one of them has asked me, are there swimming lessons given at Lufkin? When are my kids old enough to go on their own? We now have 20 children from Ardmore to Jackson that go to that pool. Some of them can go by themselves during the day, and many of them go in the evening with their parents. I watch them walk back and forth. Some of them, because I no longer have the little ones, I take the little ones when I'm home. I'm no longer working, I'm on disability, and I go to the pool. I think it's a real shame to think that all these people that have just moved to the neighborhood and bought these homes and are expecting to make a life on Jackson are now going to have to cart their kids in a vehicle and take them up to Jackson. And I love the swim team, and I appreciate that, but what about the nights I want to go swimming and there's a meet and I can't? I can walk there. We can walk home, the kids can come and go, they don't have to cross the track. In fact, even if we got a new recreation facility, I would like to see Lufkin stay. Yes, it's in my heart and I'm sympathetic, but I'm only talking my block. We have 4 other families down between Cornell and Summit that have young ones. Behind me on Van Buren, these people are not going to transport their kids. Most of them have already told me they will pay the non-resident fee and go to Lombard. If they've got to load their kids up, they're going to Paradise Bay. And I just think it would be a real shame. I know it's going to be a strong financial issue, and that's all that I have to say, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Does anybody have anything new to say? Okay. State your name.
Dan Canale. I'm at 39 West Monroe. The only thing I wanted to state is I'm part of the Save Lufkin Pool group also, and I think it's really important that everyone understands we're trying to work on a joint venture here. It's not one against the other. And unfortunately, the last 2 people seem kind of negative on, well, not the last person, but the 2 before that, in regards to Lufkin, and very in favor in Jefferson. We're not looking to favor any pool. We're looking to make both pools better. We understand they need repairs. The swim team takes up a lot of time, so the residents that live here don't have time to go swimming at Jefferson. We all know that is a fact. We need a location for all of our children to be able to go to. We talked about riding across the tracks. People said that that occurred in the 70s. That can't occur now. We have way too much traffic on these streets. I just want to make sure that everyone understands that our organization here is not to work for one pool. It's for 2 pools, all parks and recreation. I don't care what happened in 2012. I wasn't here. I like to say what everyone says. My boss says this. It's before me. So before me doesn't count. It's now and after. And that's what I want to make sure everyone understands. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I have to say, I really appreciate all the work that Save Lufkin Pool or Save the Pool Group has done. This is great. This is great. So you gave us a lot to think about, and hopefully we'll come up with some type of answer in the next couple of weeks. So, okay, thank you very much for all your work. Good seeing you all here. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's move on then to the clerk's report.
No report tonight, thank you.
Okay. Trustees report. We'll start to my right. Trustee Ciela.
No report this evening.
Trustee Kazone.
Just a couple things. One thing, I'd like to commend village staff on their snow removal efforts last week or so. They've done a good job battling all the elements and all the snow. I do have a question. How are we on our salt reserves? And how are our guys holding up to the hours?
Manager Keener has an update on the
okay.
president's report.
Okay.
So if you're
All
willing
right,
to wait,
I can wait.
We can call Rich up here right away and
No, that's fine.
get it from him.
I
Then
can
it'd
wait.
be more official, maybe. I don't know. Okay, anything
Yeah,
else?
that's good.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Trustee Case?
Yeah, I just want to back up why Chief Ron was late the other day. He stopped to help a lost truck driver or help him get up the hill. No. So that's why he was late the other day. Appreciate what you did.
Yeah, he was.
At least he listened to you, not me.
You got a mess going on. It'll be straight.
Yeah. That's why he was late.
Was he out pushing or what?
No, it's amazing what lights can do.
Thank you. Trustee Tucker?
Yes, I'd like to applaud also the snow remover. We had a lot of residents in Villa Park that were very happy because they went in the Lombard and they went, wow, what happened here? So they ran across a lot of things. Most of the roads here were taken care of very well, so I do want to say kudos to them. I'd like to remind the garden people in Villa Park that the Pioneer Garden and Feed store is offering free seed starting seminars on February 24th. They're doing 2, one at 10 and one at 3. And if that's your thing, you might want to give them a call at 630-832-0815 and get on getting them. My understanding is they have a multitude of seeds and that they have a fabulous guy that does the seminars on how to do gardening. So if you're a gardener, get in on that. I'd also like to applaud Willowbrook on their speech team, who managed to tie for first place in January 20th. And for the Willowbrook Choir, the concert choir did a fantastic job. And it's kind of an honor to know that they represented Illinois at the concert, and they were probably the only school there. That was fantastic to know that they got that invitation and did it. The upcoming thing is also the Willowbrook Business Professional American. I wish them good luck at state. They're going to compete March 3rd and March 1st through March 3rd in that meet, and it's kind of exciting that we have a lot of teams at Willowbrook that are now shining. It's kind of nice to know that our village is being brought statewide and shining in all these multiple teams. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Bolthus. Just a couple things. I want to let members of the public know that there will be no traffic and safety meeting tomorrow. They canceled their meeting. Their next meeting will be second Tuesday in March. I wanted to thank village staff for moving so quickly and putting together the Commissioner Appreciation reception that's going to take place on February 23rd at Sugar Creek Golf Course, and it's going to be, I think, from 6 to 9 p.m. So I want to thank you for that, for moving so quickly on that. Also would like to let members of the public know that the Calvary United Methodist Church, they have what they call the Third Thursday Community Dinner. This coming Thursday, February 15th, there'll be a presentation on the recommendations for the village's bike and pedestrian plan. So that this coming Thursday, February 15th, Calvary United Methodist is at 136 East Highland at the corner of Summit and Highland. And just one thing I noticed on social media that I thought was really good to pass on to members of the public. Since we've had this huge snow event, fire hydrants are covered up, and just to remind people that help yourself, help your neighbors, help the fire department, and clear an area around your fire hydrant, 3 feet, so if we do have an emergency in a neighborhood, they can find the fire hydrants and access them. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
President Bofus, I did forget one thing.
Okay.
Seeing that I forgot to mention that the Park and Rec Commission meeting is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Iowa School. Everybody's invited, by all means, with what's going on in the village. Please come out, and if you have something to say, let the Park and Rec Commission know, even if it's the pool or anything going on, because this is the time that they're working on all the parks in the area and getting things set up and the budget to go through for next year. So if there's something that you need, or your park in your area needs to be spruced up that we don't know about, please let them know, because that's what they're there for. Thank you.
Well, everything I had written down here has been covered, but I'll go over a couple of them. Again, I had a resident from a neighboring community say to me, boy, I got into Villa Park and the roads were plowed a whole lot better. So kudos to our street department for doing that. Please pass that on to your crew, please. And again, too, the fire hydrants, please clear them out. It's very important. Every second counts. So you can just take about 10 minutes and clear away your hydrants, that'd be fine. And you mentioned about the seed planting at Pioneer. Was the library doing a seed thing too, Sandy? Well, they can check the library website. I'm sure that it's on there, but I'm pretty sure they're doing a seed starting program too. So I think that's probably on a Saturday, if I remember right. So, and with that, we'll go over to the village manager report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I asked staff to put together a snow and ice and water main break report. I thought it'd be interesting to see what's transpired. So we've experienced an impressive 9 straight days with measurable snow from February 3rd through the 11th, 2018, which ties a record set in 2009 and 1902. During this 9-day stretch, we've received 18.3 inches of snow. During the past 9 days, our crews have logged approximately 90 hours and used 209 tons of salt to treat the streets. We plan to start removing snow from the center lane of St. Charles Road tomorrow, February 13th. For the season, staff responded to 19 events and used approximately 564 tons of salt for 30 inches of snow and ice. We currently have 650 tons of salt on order, with an additional 300 tons still to be ordered. The Village of Villa Park has been using Beat Heat Concentrate. This is a liquid which is more environmentally friendly pre-wetting agent than calcium chloride and should reduce the village's salt usage by over 10%. The reduced salt usage will have a substantial cost savings to the village as well. Since December 12th, 2017, staff has repaired 7 water main breaks, We have had breaks on December 12th, 17th, 26th, and 28th, January 4th, 6th, and the 21st respectively. Thank you, Your Honor.
Was there any certain area that those water main breaks were in? You know, usually it's older areas, older lines. You don't have that.
How can you say that, Your Honor? I was looking at
Rich?
Director
One of them?
Salerno. He has all the answers.
Is it, where we're, is it, are these areas where we're looking for the loan dollars to fix the, like, Stone and Vermont and, that area?
We've had a couple repeat areas where we've had multiple breaks on some of the mains. Plymouth, also Ardmore near Leslie. So a couple of those areas that we've had, I would say, multiple breaks over the past years. So those are some of the areas that we're looking for in the future to improve our infrastructure.
Thanks. Okay, we're moving on to number 18, executive session, 5 ILCS 120/2C1, personnel matters, C2, collective bargaining matters, C5, purchase and lease of property, C6, sale and lease of property, C11, pending litigation, C21, discussion of closed session minutes. Do I have a motion for executive session? Trustee Cielo, first and second?
I'll second it.
Trustee Kazone? Any questions? Roll call.
Okay, Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Okay, we're going to go into executive session. We won't be coming back. Our next board meeting is on February 26th, right here at 7. And I'd like to thank all you residents and Save Lufkin Pool people for coming out. So we'll see you on the 26th.